called, I bet you do, this is a unicycle. And that word uni, just like the word uno that we play sometimes, the card game, means one. And you can see why it's a one cycle, a one wheel, a unicycle, because it's only got one wheel. It's got two pedals, a fork, and a seat for you to sit on, or try to sit on, if you dare. It takes a lot of practice to become proficient at one of these, and you'd probably have to ask Rhea or Hudson how much practice it takes to become really, really proficient. I know they're both practiced unicyclists. Well, now that I'm safe and I'm on my 2 feet, I'm going to take my helmet off. And I wanted to talk to you about a few things, movement-wise and cycling-wise, for the upcoming month. So I first wanted to say thank you to everyone who's been filling out your movement calendar for the past month. Those are really great for us to keep track of what everyone's doing, but it's also just a joy for me to read about what outdoor things and creative indoor ways of moving that everyone's been up to at school, away from school, since we've been at home. So thank you for that. This Friday is May 1st, and I'm going to be sending home a new calendar for the month of May. And those of you who have been at the school for a long time know that every May we celebrate Bike Month. And so we're going to do that this month too. So there will be a new calendar for you to track how many minutes you're riding each day. And it's a challenge to you. If you haven't gotten on your bike yet this year, it's a challenge to you to get your bike out, practice, and become a more proficient rider, just like we do every year in May. So I wanted to bring you along with me to show you a couple of different options and things that we could lend out to you too if you are at home and you don't have a bicycle right now or something else to ride on. So let's check a few things out. And notice the differences between the things I show you too. So we'll start with that unicycle. Over here we have a scooter. A lot of people call these Razor scooters, and I think that's a brand name. So there's other companies that make these too, this type of scooter. And these are a lot of fun, but if you've been riding one of these at home, it's time to challenge yourself to put it down and go get your pedal bike, your other wheels out, and try to bike for the month of May. Here's an option, a beginner bicycle. We call these Tweelers. This is a pedal-less bike, if you notice. Look at that. The drivetrain on this is your feet, so you're using your feet to propel yourself, but it's got two wheels. It is a bicycle. And this one just came in pretty neat. It even came with a trailer that you could bring some precious cargo in behind you. And now these next three bicycles are quite similar in their build. You can take a look. It's got two wheels. We're getting into bikes with pedals and what is that? A chain. Pedals and a chain. And now this bike's a little bit different. Getting a little bit bigger and a little more advanced. I'm going to show you and see if you can see the difference between these two bicycles. I bet you're noticing that this one has just the chain going around a front sprocket and a rear sprocket. And this one has the chain going around a front sprocket and a number of rear sprockets. And then there's a device here that can shift the gears from one sprocket to another. And this device is called a derailleur. It's a French word. The French would probably pronounce it differently than I am, but we call these a derailleur, and it does the job of shifting. And you can see there are cables that go from the derailleur all the way up the frame of the bicycle to the controls on the handlebar, the shifter here. So you would shift this handlebar by twisting part of the handlebar mechanism, and it would send the signal down the cable, tightening or loosening the cable, which would send the signal to the derailleur to move one way or another up these sprockets, making it more difficult or easier to pedal the bike. And there's a whole other physics lesson there that I won't get into today. But so you can see that's a little bit different on this type of bicycle than this type of bicycle. A single speed bicycle and a multi-speed bicycle. Yeah, and then we've got an oldie but a goodie here. This will bring some of the adults watching right back. This is a Schwinn Stingray style bicycle with the banana seat and everything. Cool handlebars. This has, you can see this is a Schwinn Stingray Pixie. And this one actually needs a little bit of work. The headset is a little bit loose here, holding the handlebars in place. So if there's a mechanically inclined adult in our community or adult and child, that would be a cool project to take on together, trying to fix that. You can let me know and we can facilitate that happening. This bike also, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, needs a new tube for its rear tires. So that would be a neat thing, neat project for someone to take on too if you're inclined. And then you could hold on to these bikes and ride them for a while too. This bike, as you can see, is like that red one I was showing you. It also has a derailleur and a number of different sprockets on the back to be able to change the gearing. So let's see, I wanted to go through just some of the anatomy of a bike with you. And I know I've named a bunch of things already, but I know one of the things I haven't named yet are the axles. On wheels, you have an axle, a central axle that everything is turning around. And that's this right here, and this right here. So on a bicycle, you have two axles for the two wheels. You have the frame of the bicycle. You have the forks. You have the handlebars. If it's a bike with gearing with the different sprockets, you have a shifter. Sometimes there's paddle shifters that you click with your fingers, or sometimes it's a twisting shifter like this. Sometimes there's a front derailleur too. There are bikes that have 21 speeds. They'll have 3 gears on the front, 3 sprockets rather on the front, and maybe 7 on the back. 3 times 7, that would be 21 speeds. Some bikes are 24 speed. There might even be other ones that I don't know about. So we've got a rear derailleur. If there was a front one, it'd be a front derailleur. We've got the sprockets. We've got the chain. We've got brakes. Haven't named those yet. Really important. We've got axles. We've got wheels. We've got a seat, of course. And let's see if I named it all. I wrote them down right over here too. So, yep, we've got wheels. A bicycle has a frame, forks, a headset. I'm not sure if I said that one. That's what's holding the handlebars in place. That is this top part right over here. Headset, very important. We've got handlebars, brakes, shifters. Oh, crankshaft. That is what is in the middle there. That is cranking around. Your feet pedal the crankshaft, and that's what powers the bicycle. That's a good one to know. We've got pedals, of course, a chain, gears or sprockets, axles, and derailleurs, potentially derailleurs, on a bicycle too. So now that we've learned about the different parts of a bike, let's talk about a bike ride. So some things that you are going to want to have for any great bike ride. Number one, of course, you're going to want a helmet. You're going to want a mask, because there's probably going to be a lot of other people biking around too, so we want to stay safe. You're going to want shoes, not sandals generally, because shoes are sturdier. If you have to fall or you have to stop quickly, you don't want open-toed sandals when you're riding a bicycle generally. It's safer to have shoes on. Same with pants or shorts. I have seen people successfully riding in skirts and things like that, but they can get caught in your back wheel, so you have to be careful. Even pants can be tricky because your pants can sometimes get caught in the chain if you're not careful. So you have to wear pants that are tight against your leg, or shorts are a good idea. Lights or reflectors, if you're going to be riding in any kind of darkness at all, it's good to have lights. It's always good to have reflectors, even in the daytime. Safety and awareness, those are crucial on a bike ride. You want to make sure you are being super aware of your surroundings, never assuming that other people are seeing where you are, especially if they're driving in cars. You want to assume that they are not noticing where you are, and always wait for a car, even if you think that they see you and they're waiting for you. Always stop at every street and wait for them to pass and then go on by. That brings me on to courtesy. So if you're riding on something like a public sidewalk and there are people walking or walking their dog, it's always a good idea to err on the side of safety or courtesy, being kind, and get off your bike, even walk your bike by them if they have a dog or something like that, so you don't startle them. Say hello, wave, or just go around them. Give people a lot of space. Especially right now, people are trying to give each other a lot of space, so it's a courteous thing to do, and a good thing to practice, good courtesy while you're bike riding. Maintaining a distance, you still want to be doing that, just like we're all practicing doing right now. You want to do that even on your bike, and staying away from other cyclists. If you're cycling, you might be able to go find an empty parking lot to practice in or something like that, or a park, tennis courts no one's using, things like that. Those are great places to practice away from other people. And finally, for this month, you won't need it on your ride, but after you're done riding, go inside and get out your calendar and mark down how many minutes you've ridden for the day rather, and send it to me every week. We'll keep track of it, and at the end of May, we'll celebrate how many minutes we've ridden, both individually and collectively as a school. So I hope this was helpful for some people. I hope you're excited to ride your bike, and if you saw a bike in this video or something you'd like to try riding, we actually have a couple of unicycles too. If you'd like to try any of those things, you can send me a message and I will facilitate helping you get one of these bikes to be able to start riding. All right, everybody, we'll see you next time. Hope you're doing well.